Good morning, I'm Maiki Oreta and welcome to Industry Beacon, where we shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, the titans of industry shaping our future. And we're not just talking about success stories here. We're diving deep into their hearts and minds to see what drives them. Today we're shining a light on a beacon in the fine jewelry industry, visionary designer Nicole Whisenhunt, renowned for her dedication to artistry and impeccable craftsmanship. Her jewelry brand Whisenhunt combines traditional techniques with modern innovations. And today she'll talk to us about how she built her brand from the ground up. Hi Nick, thanks for being with us.
Hi Maiki, thanks for having me.
Okay, so Nick, I know your story, but for the people that have not been privileged to, please tell us how you went from designing jewelry in college to starting your own brand.
Well, it started out as a hobby. So I was actually one of the few people that at a young age, I was doing something creative, and it actually continued all these years. So back in the day, I was making basically handmade jewelry, and then I'd sell it to friends. I'd join the Rockwell Bazaar. And then I eventually evolved into embroidered jewelry. And then at the age of 29 or 30, I wanted to do fine jewelry. And since then, I've been committed to doing fine jewelry and now even estate pieces.
Talk to us about that shift to fine jewelry, from fashion accessories to embroidered pieces and onto a more of an investment, fine jewelry. What prompted that shift?
I think as you age, you want to buy pieces with longevity. And as a creative at that time, I also felt like I wanted to create pieces that could be heirloom one day, pieces that people could pass down, and pieces of sentimental value.
Okay, what do you love about jewelry?
I love how they are mementos that last a lifetime or even longer. I also love how, basically they're the cherry on the top of your outfit. There's no great outfit without the right jewelry.
Absolutely. And you also took some classes in 2016. You took classes at the jewelry school Lecole Van Cleef & Arpels in Paris. How did that change your trajectory?
So what I loved about it was it's a great place to learn about jewelry history. So I love history in general. I learned so much there, not just about the history of the different periods, jewelry periods, but also they talk about the importance of amulets, all these hundreds of years that people have been making jewelry. And also they have one class, it's kind of like a jewelry forensics class. So it teaches you how to actually distinguish if a piece is true to its time.
Interesting. That's all the more interesting because when you talk about old pieces of jewelry, like for Cartier, the best pieces were from pre-1980s.
Yes.
Can you tell us why this is so?
It's in the 1980s that Cartier decided to go commercial. So pre-1980s, they only had 5 shops. So you can imagine that they were really only producing in much smaller
batches.
Quantities.
Right, no more mass-produced jewelry, a lot of what we have today.
And a lot of you walk into a Cartier store today, and what you see on the floor is highly mass-produced. So I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm also the jewelry consultant for Leon Gallery. And you could tell that if a piece is rare, it goes up in so much value. But let's say you bring out a piece that, how do I say this? Many people have it. Let's say a love bangle.
Okay.
There's just so many love bangles on the secondary market.
Correct.
That it's hard for it to actually.
And there are a lot of fake pieces as well.
Yes. So if you were to bid on it in an auction, you would probably get a very low price.
Okay.
Definitely much lower than you would purchase it in the shop.
Okay.
But if it were a special piece, something a little bit older, something that they no longer sell in store, these are the pieces that go up.
Okay, there's a premium to the rare stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
which brings us to a shift in consumer preferences that you're also kind of ushering in. Bespoke and also estate pieces. Can you talk to us about these two and how why your brand loves them so much?
So for estate pieces, I'm so in love with it because, as I mentioned, I love history. I also love art. I can appreciate the provenance of stuff. So I decided to get into the estate pieces because for the love, and also I thought that it would be a great complement to my own pieces in the shop now. But me, on the other hand, as a designer, I try to do something a little bit more new. So I'm more in I try to modernize the pieces, or sometimes you'd see traces of influences from certain design periods that I do have in the work as well.
Okay, interesting. Where do you see most of the demand? Is it in the custom pieces, or is it in the estate collections that you're bringing in?
That's actually a bit tricky because both.
Both.
So a lot of people are crazy about the estate pieces. And I realized that that's a new thing, because back in the day, a lot of Filipinos were so scared of buying pieces that are pre-loved. But now they actually see it through a different perspective. Like, they see that it's a form of art, it has value, there's also a great investment side to it. And the pieces, how they were made before versus, like, let's say, mass-produced jewelry today,
Correct,
are just
correct.
so much better quality. And they're also a good deal. I mean, you know, what you could get today at a certain price point versus...
So what are tips that you can give to people who want to buy jewelry? Of course, you'll get it for the design, but also it would be icing on the cake if it's an investment that will increase over time. What's your advice for people who want to buy jewelry and want to have develop an eye for pieces that will appreciate over time?
If they want to buy for value, I'd always suggest going with signed pieces. So signed pieces will always retain a higher value than something unsigned, and sometimes it's 20 times more the price. Like, let's say the Tutti Frutti of Cartier, which was popular in, I think, around the 1940s, can easily go for like a few $1,000,000. But then if it was not a Tutti Frutti and it was just a look-alike, maybe a lot less, like under 100,000.
No, it's one thing to have the eye to create, the talent to make things beautiful. It's another thing to have the business acumen to build a brand and make it fly. Can you talk to us about how you were able to develop the business acumen to make your passion profitable?
Well, I came from a family of entrepreneurs. So my grandfather was in the automotive industry. So he built Diamond Motors, and previously it was Apex. So he brought Mitsubishi to the Philippines. So I guess I always grew up in that environment. Like, I'd sit at the table, I'd hear them talking about business. My father was the same way.
Any big challenges or big breaks when you first started?
I can't pinpoint one single big break, but I thought it was maybe a lot of small wins. Like, even back when I was doing the costume jewelry, I guess I got a lot of recognition when I moved into embroidery. And then, but at the same time, when I was doing the handmade jewelry, my first feature was with Lifestyle Asia. And then eventually it was Preview that featured my embroidered pieces. And then a lot of my clients today, I mean, not all, but quite a few of them have come with me along the way, along this journey. So they were already purchasing my costume jewelry, and they've already grown with me, and we've already moved into custom, fine jewelry, estate.
Very nice milestones in your career. Talking about the evolution of your brand, how it was when you first started. You started this in about 2007, and where it is today in 2024. What are the differences, and where have you stayed? Where have you changed, and where have you stayed the same?
Well, definitely the move into the fine jewelry was a big move. It was also a much bigger investment. And then I also decided to put up my own store. So I have one in Rockwell. We've been there for, I think, almost 8 years. Prior to then, I was a homegrown business. So like when I was doing costume, everything was from the house. Oh, we also had Kura V back in the day. So like I would sell my accessories through Kura and also Firma, usually all consignment. But now everything is really done like through the store, and then I also opened my own production, my own
production house.
Yes.
Okay. Can you walk us through the design process when someone wants a bespoke piece? What goes into that?
So I see custom has to be like partially the client and partially my own personality. So it can't be all of me, it can't be all of you. We have to meet halfway in the sense that like you're gonna wear it, so it has to be something that you're comfortable in. So oftentimes I always want to meet the client, understand what they're looking for, what they need, what's the function of the jewelry that they want me to make for them, as well as like what's their personality. Because some people like, they're a little bit more conservative, they're a lot more classic. Some people are very avant-garde. So I try to like marry both my personality and theirs into the work.
Okay, can you talk to us about a memorable request for customization?
Oh, maybe your earrings. I thought that was nice.
Okay, not these ones.
No,
but
no.
The other ones I bought.
Yes.
What was that stone again? I don't remember. They're
you
very
had a
beautiful.
diamond.
Yes, a triangle.
Yeah,
it was a triangular stone.
Yes.
And then you made a what do you call that?
I made a
bezel. No,
I
not
made
a bezel.
It was like a
halo.
No.
Something like a halo. Okay.
So a halo is like a bunch of small diamonds going around. A bezel is a setting for gold that goes around. So I made a jacket for you. Yeah,
that's it.
And it's funny because like even when I was doing costume, everybody knows how much I was fond of the Art Deco era.
It's
and
beautiful.
I still love the Art Deco era till today. So I wanted to make something very functional for you, something that you could wear casually and you could dress up in the evening. So we did a
I'll wear that tomorrow.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, it was a beautiful piece. I get a lot of compliments when I wear it. And
Yay.
the question is, was this from your grandmother's collection? What is, because you captured the Art Deco style so well.
I'm an old soul, so like I love old pieces, but I also love modern. I mean, it depends on my feel for the day.
Of course,
when you wake up every day, you feel like, okay, I want to wear this, I want to wear that.
When I work with you, I like the fact that you give me lots of options. And all of the options that you give me are not from one period. There's like option A, which is totally, totally new. And then there's this a very classic, you've got it all. So that's a lot of fun. Now, as a designer, Nick, do you ever run out of ideas? And what do you do to make sure that well of ideas never runs dry?
Of course. I think for you to say that you don't run out of ideas is impossible. I travel a lot, as you know, and I get ideas or influences not just from like, places that I see, but also from just the feelings of like being around certain people, influences.
Okay, if you could collaborate with anyone to design a piece, any jewelry designer, past or present, who would that be?
Oh, wow, that's tough.
Or a design house. It doesn't have to be a particular name, or from a particular period.
The thing is like each design house is known for a certain look. So like if you want to talk about colored stones, it's all Bulgari. Bulgari has the best colored stones, and it's because back in like the 70s, they were the highest buyers for colored stones. So obviously the people who had the best of the best in that time would always offer it to Bulgari. But then like I also love how, if you look at the different periods of design for Cartier, I'm a huge fan. Like, they have such wearable pieces. I love like, the gold and the diamonds, and I love a lot of their pieces. Van Cleef, I love for how they preserve the arts. Like, they were given an award by the French government because they're the only ones who are preserving like this old way of making jewelry, which even in the Philippines, I have to say, we're actually struggling with that. Like the average age of a goldsmith or a platero is already at 50 years old. A lot of the younger generation, they no longer want to be goldsmiths. They want to work in the tech industry, or a BPO.
So that's a gap that we
Yeah,
need to fill.
so it's very...
I'm sure the people that are passionate about this are out there. They just need to discover
Yeah.
that passion. So that's an interesting point that you mentioned.
Back
Yeah, go
to
ahead.
what your question, gosh, like, I love Reposi for its modern pieces. I love Fred. So hard to choose. Maybe Jar.
All right, now
Maybe
going
I'd
back
love to collab with Jar.
Going
Yeah.
back to your design house, you know, where would you like to take the brand? And to add to that, you mentioned that each design house is known for something. What would you like the Whisenhunt brand to be known for in terms of style?
Maybe a style that where old meets new. Like,
Nice.
I can never say I'm too much of a modern girl, yet I'm also like, I don't know, there's something refreshing when you see like an idea that has traces of like the old and then it's like modernized into something new.
Absolutely, and you're appealing
yeah.
to a not exactly the largest market because it's very high net worth that that buys fine jewelry.
Yeah.
You're appealing to many different individuals, different preferences, and it's just coming out with an array of products where someone can find something, right? Someone at any age can find something and they like. What's that like?
Well, I'd love to like,
The variance of your collection. Talk to us about the variance of your collection. When you launch, for example, when you do a sale at Leon Gallery, you fill that up with all beautiful pieces. What goes into sourcing and creating the pieces to make sure that there's variety, there's something for everybody?
Usually we start with a design and then after that I source the materials. But right now, if you walked into my shop, I'm more focused on putting pieces in the shop that are wearable. But I do a lot of custom pieces for clients, and oftentimes they ask for pieces that they could wear for functions or occasions. Although right now the shop is divided into two, like there's really a lot of estate and vintage pieces in the shop today. Earlier you were asking me about where I'd like to take it. I love both. I mean, like, I love creating, but I love the hunt.
Back in time and back
I also
forward
love
to the
the
future.
hunt for finding these new pieces because I never know what I'm going to find each time I'm out there sourcing. And then when I find things that are very special, they're rare, they have great provenance, it's like it's a jackpot. You know what I mean?
Nice. Like the thrill of the hunt. You're a treasure hunter.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I love that also. It's actually a really fun part of the job.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do a quick fire round. Quick questions, quick answers. Okay, lab grown or mined diamonds?
Definitely mined.
Definitely mined.
Yeah.
Okay, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, or sapphires?
So colored stones, they say that colored stones are the way to go moving forward, but probably emeralds. I love emeralds.
Okay, all right. Now, other top stones that need more recognition. I've seen some beautiful tanzanites and paraibas. What, in your opinion, is under the radar and needs more attention in terms of colored stones?
Alexandrite, I think, is so beautiful. You'll be surprised, like some very, very good quality, like even, even like, depends, like some of the colored stones, if you can get very, very special quality, they actually have very high value.
All right,
Yeah.
and some words of advice for aspiring jewelry designers.
Follow your heart. Like in my case, I really just followed my passion, but I really believe in commitment. So like, it's not like through the years we didn't come across challenges and difficulties. There will always be challenges in everything you do. But if you're very committed to it, I mean, you have to like look past it. You have to look at the bigger picture, and you have to just keep going and just always try to be better.
All right, thank you for your time today, Nick. It was great having you.
Thank you.
All right, and that's it for today's show. I'm Maiki Oreta. Catch the Billionario News Channel on Free TV, Channel 31, and on cable via Cignal Channel 24. Thanks for watching the Billionario News Channel, always on top.